Hey guys, Cat97 again with some more Hazel madness. This time the 1/44 scale high-grade Universal Century Gaplant TR-5 Hrairoo from the Advance of Zeta series. For the color scheme, you'll notice that it's virtually identical to that of the Hazel custom. We got a lot of white and dark blue going on all over the machine, offset with little bits and pieces of yellow here and there on the vents. All the thrusters are yellow, kind of darkish orange yellow at the bottom there, and at the back we have some more yellow, especially here in that tail fin. And then finally we also have standard gray for the joints, the hands, and like little parts here and there. We have on the gun, the tips, and like for the accessories. So this also makes me wonder if, well, the color for the Hrairoo is also the rollout color like it is on the Hazel, or if this is the beginning of the Titans adopting a lot of different standard colors. It is important to mention, however, that not all of the yellow parts you see are actual parts. In fact, quite a lot of them are stickers. So the yellow pieces here, right there, they're of course on the other side as well. Turning it around, we get all the same stickers. We have red holes right there. We have some nice metallic green ones right there. Turning it around again on the side, here we have some yellow on the feet, the yellow there on the front, and then of course when we get to the head we have the very nice metallic green stickers, one on there, and when we remove this you might be able to make out the metallic green one for the mono eye, because yes, the mono eye is still in there. And yes, it still comes with a sticker, just in case you'd want to make the regular Gaplant. And then the final sticker we get is a gray one that goes right there. Oh, yellow one there, and yellow one there on the other side as well. So overall, color accuracy for the Gaplant is pretty acceptable for a kit of its time. Sure, it does come with a fair amount of stickers, but for a kit of this time, I'm frankly even surprised it got stickers for some of those small parts to begin with. And, well, with the stickers included, pretty much the only thing that really needs to be painted are the hoses going on the arm there and underneath the elbow. Once you have that painted up, well, it is pretty much color accurate. And then finally, being a Hazel, we of course get a bunch of marking stickers. A few I haven't used, the big ones right here. We have one on each of the wing binders. This is a really cool sticker right there. It's a bunny killing a bird, because get it? The Gaplant can fly. And finally, this one was a huge pain to line up the way the manual wanted it. Ended up removing it and putting it back on there, and eventually it started kind of chipping off. So be careful with this giant sticker and just be happy in the way you put it on the first time around. Don't attempt to make it perfectly, you know, manual accurate. On to Articulation, and man is this thing a busy model. The head goes nicely up, down, and a tiny bit side to side. And that thing comes off. The arms will rotate around all the way if you're careful, because now we've got some giant things sticking out on top of them. We'll go up nicely, and like I said, a lot of stuff is going on to get the full articulation. There we go. We'll rotate around below the shoulder, if you can get everything out of the way. Bend at the elbow at not quite 90 degrees because, well, we have those hoses that get in the way. The hands are on ball joints, will wiggle around, turn around, and do everything a ball joint does. Then these wing binders are on two hinges, one in the arm itself and then another hinge in the wing binder. Then the waist itself is not really going to do any moving other than moving apart for the transformation. The legs go forward like that. Front skirts can go forward a little bit. So yeah, not really a lot of forward movement. Backwards, it's one of those models where the legs go further backwards than forwards. But having these out, I do quickly want to draw your attention to this. Inner details on the skirt armor. And this is not something that is on the regular Gaplant, so this is a very cool improvement over the regular Gaplant. With the front skirts, it's also the same way, if you can make it out there. Then the legs go out about that far, will rotate around a bit and bend at the knee at 2 joints. And you know, not quite 90 degrees. The feet are surprisingly well articulated. We have this flap here that goes up, feet go forwards, backwards, and we have a toe joint. And this here also makes it look a bit more mechanical, a bit more, you know, a bit more intricate. Add some flair there, then we'll rotate around and go side to side. So overall, the articulation is okay. It's nothing horrible, nothing too great either. You know, it's transformable mobile suits. They knew where they were going to focus their attention. In case anyone is wondering, yes, with all this stuff going on, the articulation is slightly worse than that of the original Gaplant. Namely, front skirts don't move nearly as much forwards. And to put it in perspective, the blue here is the front skirt of the original Gaplant. You can just see how much longer the front skirt of the Hrairoo has become. So yeah, on to accessories. And let's begin with this cute, tiny little gun. Looks very much like a beam spray gun. Doesn't look like it would do too much damage, but we're not here for the small gun. Because, well, we get extra pieces. You hook up to the front, and then another piece goes on the back, and then you'll lock it with this piece here, and that is how you make yourself a sniper rifle. Also, this entire thing acts as an heat hawk, just one giant heat blade. So yeah, if they get too close to the Gaplant while he's trying to snipe, he's going to take care of them. And there are a bunch of ways you can hook this thing up to the Gaplant. The first one is simply open up this mouth here to reveal 1, a little beam rifle, and 2, a peg on which this thing will go. Simply clamp it down. Technically, it's supposed to kind of like grab onto it with a peg, but doesn't really do a lot. And then there are 2 joints, one here and one up there, that actually give it some movement. And surprisingly enough, so far, it seems to be pretty damn stable, despite it being plastic rubbing against plastic. So, you know, using it too much might wear it down, but so far, it's doing a very commendable job. The other arm has the same joints, but it doesn't have a hookup for the giant sniper rifle. Then the second method involves using its tail, which we can simply fold out, fold up. There we go. Just like that, pull it over, and then all we have to do is use a shield connector, plug it on there, and then slide it on. And now it's got a very articulated gun sitting on top of it, and it's got all of its hands perfectly free for even more weapons. And just as with the joints right here, it's all plastic rubbing against plastic, but despite that, it's surprisingly sturdy, especially considering that it's holding on to, you know, quite a massive and long gun. And then finally, of course, you can simply put it in the hand. And this Gaplant comes with 2 trigger finger hands. One for the right hand and one for the left. Always great when they do this. And this one is even a non-standard hand. Really cool that they did this. Now, you do only get 2 hand covers, so you do have to switch them out every time you want to switch the hands. And, well, the gun looks surprisingly good on the Hrairoo, just holding on to it. Something I was kind of, you know, worried about with all the stuff going on with it. And then the final weapons we're getting, a pair of Beam Saber chopsticks. I would throw these away, but we don't get any regular Beam Saber handles. So, yeah, you're kind of stuck with these unless you saw them off and then drill a hole to give it a regular Beam Saber. But, yeah, you're gonna have to use these. And they're not the most secure things either. Even if you like kinda jam them in there, you can find that little sweet spot that makes them stay better, but just be careful with them. They're a pair of beam chopsticks, damn it. And in case you want your Gaplant to look even more impressive, we get this connector here, which hooks up to the sniper rifle to give it slightly more bulk. Now the thing that this is going to do is it's going to connect to the shield boosters. Because, you know, having a sniper rifle is cool, but you know what's really lacking from the sniper rifle? Shield boosters. That's right. So we get one, and you know, just having a boring old sniper rifle is kind of, let's put on the one with extra missiles. And there we go. Not only is this the most well-armored, well-armed, and fastest sniper rifle around, but also, you can no longer hold it up. Because, well, we just attached 2 giant shield boosters to it. I was already pretty surprised he was able to hold it up as well as he did, but, you know, he still isn't completely dropping it, and if you kind of tuck it in between, he can actually surprisingly hold it up. So yeah, I'm very surprised by the sturdiness of this thing. And in order to help him pose with his super powered sniper rifle, we also get the stand we get with the regular Gaplant. And then the final usable accessory that we're getting is a connector so that we can use the Gaplant in its transformed mode with the stand. Now, some good news for people who are thinking about making the regular Gaplant. We also get leftover parts. Some are useless, like these wings from the booster, which, by the way, we do not get. We just get a few parts, like a few wings, a few thrusters that go on the booster. But, other than those useless parts, we also get the parts to make the regular Gaplant. Just, you know, in more Titan-esque colors. Also, I really love that they made his visor thingy yellow. So yeah, if you want to do that, you can just go straight ahead and buy this thing for that. And finally, onto the transformation. Now, the original Gaplant was known as a complete transformer. This thing, not quite as much due to a few, you know, design changes. The first one, the most obvious one, is that it now has a V-fin, and there's no way in hell they were going to make that V-fin transform on a 1/144 scale. So I'm actually gonna call this one a good thing that they decided to do it like that. And other than that, we're gonna have to start ripping a few things off. Now, the reason I don't want to call this a complete transformer is because we don't have to bring in any new parts in order to get it transformed, but we will have to remove a few parts in order to get this transformed. First, we pull this off, pull the other one off, and then it's kind of like the usual Gaplant transformation. Pull this up, that goes there, the tail, you pull back, that goes up, the front section goes to the front, and then you've got a few things to line up. And well, so far so good, right? Well, we gotta remove a few more things. We rip off the arm, and now this piece has to be removed because the thing is, now there's this piece here, which is the connection part for these shoulder pieces, and there was a hole on the regular Gaplant where this would go into. So now you have to completely remove this part, and then this is going to connect right there. So that is instead of an actual transformation, because right now there's a part that's interfering with the transformation. And then it's just the usual same old, flip it around, aim it forward, extend it, and repeat on the other side. And now we also got to parts form these things. Simply pull them out and reattach them in this position. And then the final thing left to do is to once again hook it up to the action base. And it's actually going to require a few steps to do so. First, we got to attach this brace so that we can attach the blade rifle to it. Then you secure it by bringing the tail all the way around and then sliding it in there before we can finally grab this piece to attach it to the stand. And there we go. The full transformation, or partly parts formation, however you want to call it. One thing I will say, it is by far not the most secure transformation I've ever done. The Gaplant in and of itself was already kind of, you know, a bit finicky because it did have that full transformation, but then adding on a bunch of additional stuff that wasn't necessarily meant for it definitely creates for a whole that when transformed, yeah, gives something I don't want to touch this, or something might just fall off, especially like the whole construction with the long rifle, the blade rifle at the bottom, connecting to the tail, connecting to something there, connecting to a bunch of small bits, and it really doesn't feel like it's on the stand super securely. And I'm afraid it might fall off at any moment if I bump my desk too much. As always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And well, it depends. It really depends on what it is you prioritize in a model kit. The Hrairoo is for sure a very nice, bulky machine. Looks great, but its structural integrity isn't quite as great. So if you're looking for something that's a bit sturdier, you know, something you might want to pose around a bit more and transform once or twice or a bit more than that, the original Gaplant might be more your cup of tea. Sure, you can also build the Hrairoo as the regular Gaplant, but this thing is 200 yens less expensive, and on top of that also comes with the booster. A pretty big booster, I might say. So it's really a battle of what is more valuable to you. The Hrairoo has all the added stuff going on. Got the extra shoulder things, the extra waist armor, the gun, that gorgeous blade rifle thing, combination with a smaller gun. It's really nice, but also makes the whole model kit a bit more, I wouldn't necessarily say flimsy, but make it feel a bit more fragile, because all the added parts, when you're holding it, or you're just putting it somewhere, that, I'm telling you, that skirt armor definitely feels pretty fragile, and then when you're trying to transform it, all hell breaks loose, combining all of the worst elements of the Gaplant's transformation with additional parts formation, and on top of that, some extra fragile transformation parts. But you know, once again, if you like the colors of this thing, you might also just want to go for this and have the regular Gaplant in the Titan's colors. Also, the Hrairoo by itself is just the Hrairoo by itself, but the final edge for the Hrairoo is, of course, you've got the other Hazels out there, and there might be a few more combinations you can pull off than you might have first thought. So definitely stay tuned for more Hazel madness, because not everything you can make with these things is listed in the manual. For size comparisons, first of all, let's put it next to some other bulky machines, the Gaplant again, and the advanced Hazel. Then here it is next to the Hazel 2 and the Hazel Custom. And finally, here it is next to the standard size Gym Custom and the always bulky Zaku 3. And as you can see, the Hrairoo is plenty a match for the Zaku 3. So that's all for this review, and see you guys next time for more Hazel madness.